Does the term cloud come from the cloud we know in heaven? Number two, is there a possibility of institutions or persons who choose to have their data stored in these cloud places? Do they have options or possibility of taking insurance policies? Is it possible to insure your data such that if it's interfered with, you get compensated? Thank you very much.
All right, I can start from him. Now, cloud, it's a technical word just to disguise the sky, but it's not the sky. It is data stored on someone else's servers. Okay? It's just like we have a company here and you want to store your data on MTN servers. It's just cloud because they're using the internet to access the data. But does not necessarily mean you're putting the data to heaven. It is someone else's server. That's why we always talk about the Microsoft servers, just to make it easier for you to understand. We're using Gmail accounts. We're using Yahoo. Have you ever wondered where the data goes?
I think it's hosted in those organizations.
Exactly. Now, when you're using Google or Google Drive, that means your data is basically on the Google servers, either in America or in Germany, wherever they're hosting their servers from. Well, these days we love using social media. When you're using Facebook, right now Facebook has almost 1.7 billion active users. You take videos, take photos, you post your videos there. That data goes on Facebook servers. We only use the word cloud literally, but it doesn't mean data is stored in the cloud. It's on someone else's servers. Then the other question where you talked about if there is some bit of insurance that can be given, that if someone modifies your data, then it can be compensated. Very few companies are doing that. In fact, when the leak happened for the celebrities in 2014, they sued Amazon, but that case has not been solved yet. So we are still waiting. Maybe from the verdict, we can easily tell whether there is some insurance policy there, or the company hosting can easily compensate those celebrities. Yes, please.
Okay, you said the cloud providers, no? They can access, of course, the data I put in the clouds or in the servers. But the advantage for the providers is just there is money because I buy some space. And at the beginning they offer you a free space, you don't pay anything. Everybody does this. It is the advantage for the providers, for this big organization, of course. As he said, in case the cloud, we're talking about cloud, the week can change. I'm a So everything disappears. What can I do in case? I put some data here, I don't know you.
No.
I know it's a stupid question. Right?
No, it is not. Basically what you're talking about is availability of your data. And the only time you can get affected is if you don't have internet connectivity. That's when you cannot access. If I can just use Gmail as one of the services we're getting, because we're basically hosting our data, our mails, our attachments, and everything on their servers. The moment you don't have internet, you're basically off. You cannot access. So to them, they provide 100% accessibility. Because when you go through the Google data centers, they basically have power running 24/7 from January to December. Even if power goes off a second, they have automatic generators that you can never go off as long as you have internet. It's only at the cloud consumer that maybe if internet is off, that you cannot connect. Now when it comes to the first question that you brought up, normally cloud computing, when you come to some of the advantages I could not state here, is the it can increase. Meaning that today, if you have $100, yeah, they'll give you space of 500 GB. When you pay more money, then they can give you maybe 1 petabyte. So it all depends on how much you have and how much space you want to use. But when it comes to cloud computing, it's not all about the space. There's infrastructure and there's also software. I know some of us have used Google Docs. Google Docs is basically a service as a software. There are people who can even program just using the hosted services already online. So that can help you to maximize. But when it comes to space, there are even those, anyone has ever used a Dropbox. Dropbox will give you storage of...
Dropbox is more expensive than Google Drive. I tried.
I know sometimes if you have just very few data you want to post, then you can use Dropbox. If you have 2 GB of data, then that can be okay. If you want to use maybe up to 10 GB, you can use Google Drive, which can also give you for free. But when it comes to more commercial basis, just like University of Kigali can buy space on Amazon and wants to post data, that means you look at multitude of data that you want to post, that you cannot hold physically in your facilities that you have. For servers right now on the market, we are using servers of generation 9, and you find that it's almost around 20 million Rwandan francs, or that's around 20,000 US dollars, which might be non-cheap for some companies and might be cheaper for you to buy space than spending 20,000 US dollars. That's the reason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Katindi. So, first of all, this is a really, really interesting research paper and really valid in nowadays because we're all utilizing the internet to do transactions. My question is, imagine that someone has an online business, an e-counseling business, where psychiatric counselors from all over the world are working with patients, right? Can you enhance the trust of that website platform, right? Utilizing what you said, the RSA computing or MSD5 to secure the data and the information of one, the patient, the users, the patient and the counselor, right? That are utilizing the website platform. But two as well, there are payment transactions that are happening on that web platform.
Yes.
Can you use those encryption as well to secure the payments? And if so, do you have to purchase this? Like, how do you do that?
No, basically what happens is, just like using the medical records, because those ones, medical and financial, are very personal issues. Now, when you come to use this framework here, at PhD we cannot generate a software. That's why I'm calling it a framework that someone at a lower level can generate a software that can exactly do that. Now, using my framework, I automatically encrypt the data that you have, that is whether it's medical, whether it's financial, that's only accessible by one person. And then I use the MD5 that even if someone modifies, I can be notified of any change of the data that I have. But now that is the data that you're not keeping on your machine, but you're keeping it at the cloud side of the provider, whichever choice of the provider that you want to use. Okay? But that is basically what I'm working on, to make sure that data is safe and secure at whatever destination it is.
So there's a way to secure the information.
Yes.
Wherever it is, utilizing
Exactly.
this information.
Exactly.
Okay, thanks, Nick. You explained that in a very good presentation. Even for those of us who are non-ICT, at least we are able to understand what we are talking about. Now, I'm looking at cloud computing. Perhaps I would have suggested one, you look at why I should put my work on someone else's server against putting it on my own server, so that at least people are able to see the economies of scale, one, the pool of experts that you have, where you put your data, if it's Safaricom or Nvidia, whoever it is, or Microsoft, so that I'm asking this because an accountant, because I want to look at the cost and benefit.
Exactly.
Why not look at myself, as a company, everything in my server with all those security features, MD5, RSA, so that if you're able to look at the cost, then now you tell people, look, instead of wasting resources, can we enhance this because these are the benefits, and then you look at those research gaps. I think it would be very good. Perhaps my question now would be, why not have CIA
in my own hands. If you can justify that, I think this is a wonderful topic. It's very nice. I mean, it is the way to go, rather than wasting a lot of resources, which we've seen a number of people do. Thank you.
Thanks very much for that question. But since you're coming from Kenya, I can use a local-based scenario from Kenya. Now, when you come to Safaricom, and it's worldwide known M-Pesa. Now, when they started up M-Pesa, it started as a small idea. And people thought, yeah, it would work, but just for a few. So the servers were basically in Kenya. Now, the moment they rolled it out to the entire country, there were a lot of security issues that came up in place. And then the servers were shifted to Germany. Now, when you're accessing those servers in Germany, that's basically cloud computing. Because you no longer have control over those servers within Nairobi. So, because of one, security, that maybe locally you cannot have or provide all the security you need here, so you push it out. Two, you may not have the infrastructure, because when you come to a server, or what you can call a data center, it means you have to have not only one server, but several servers. Because I'm talking about a server that's costing you around $20,000 US. And you need to have like 20 of those servers in your place. Because a server needs to have a backup server. And that backup server needs to have also another backup server. Because if one fails, customers cannot go off. They look for another one. What if that other one also goes off as you maintain this one? So you need to have another server. And when it comes to servers, it's not one role that it can be done. You might find you have so many roles that are being used for you to host a particular service that you want to access. So if you're using cloud service as a storage, that means you only have to invest into massive storages. Before, all of us used to work very well with the TBs, that is terabytes. But in the world of computing, we moved from terabytes, they're using petabytes, they shifted from petabytes, they're using yottabytes, and right now they're using zettabytes. That is billions and billions and billions of data, which you may not afford in your organization. So, when you look at the amount of space that you need and how much you're going to invest, then it may not be logical to spend $100, that's $100,000, when your actual data in your place is costing you $20,000. That's 20,000 US. So when you look at the economies of scale, you rather push your data to somewhere else where you can pay cheaply than you hosting it. Now Safaricom does it this way. Because they shifted some of the servers back in Nairobi, you find that during the peak hours, they're using the local servers. During the off-peak time, they push the data to the cloud. So it is non-stop services that you have your local servers here, but in case of some need, you can push your data to the cloud. And for some of reasons like cost and also security, that comes into play. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Natenda, for that topic. My worry is encrypting data. Yeah, my worry is whenever you encrypt data, you are transforming it. It's like I'm hiding my face. I put on a cap and I'm hiding my face. So people are curious to see actually that face than when you are not hiding it. So how do you deal with that curiosity?
Now, that's very nice. When I was starting the presentation, I gave you reasons why I'm basically preferring to use the RSA encryption standard. That they even put $200,000 US for anyone who will succeed in breaking that code. And up to now, no one has succeeded. So, however curious you are, you can't survive. And that's when I'm secure that you cannot break it. If I put a very big door here, but someone breaks it, then I'm not secure anymore. But if I use something that I know is foolproof, then I'm sure my data is safe and I'll be able to only be the one who can access and modify whatever I want. Otherwise, if you try to do any Google on RSA, it will show you that the first one, which was generated using 217 public key bit, was broken in 2005. Then they generated the 617 public key, which up to now, no one has been able to break it down.
So according to what you said about using asymmetry, yes?
Yes.
Yeah. So why should I use that one? Why should I encrypt my data instead of hiding it? Because we know there are methods where I can hide my data in a picture and hide my data in a music. Why should I go with this one which transforms it?
Now, hiding data,
going with the other one.
hiding data, you're still encrypting the data. The only thing is, how are you accessing, or how is someone viewing that data? When you encrypt, there are small basic encryption apps that we even have on our phones. But those ones, anyone hacking your phone, trust me, I'll be able to get all the data that I need. There are some softwares we use right now on our computers. I can give you one of them is Folder Guard. You can use Easy File Protector that you cannot access any file unless you have the password. But when I use the forensic tools, I can see everything 100%. When I do data recovery, I see everything 100%. That means that's not foolproof. Because there is a need for you to have something beautiful and less secure, and having something ugly and more secure. When it comes to security, I rather go for something ugly but more secure than having something beautiful that someone can easily compromise. That's the reason.
Just wanted to follow up something.
Yes.
I just wanted to follow up this issue of
Safaricom. Are you suggesting that even if they own the servers in Germany, that will still be cloud?
Yeah.
I think cloud means having the data stored by someone else's server.
Exactly. Now, when you come to cloud, there are three types of clouds. We have what we call private cloud, we have private public cloud, and then hybrid cloud. Now, private cloud is University of Kigali massively invests in their own servers, and they put them somewhere in a given server room. But as long as you're connecting through it using a network or internet, that becomes private cloud. We have public cloud, just like where you buy data from Amazon or YouTube, that is Google, or you buy data from whichever company of your choice. That is, you give 100% ownership to that particular company. That is public cloud. But you can also have a hybrid, where using public and private interchangeably, just like what Safaricom is using. That during peak time, they use the local servers. During off-peak time, they access the cloud servers that are in Germany. Now, that is what we call the cloud. So that is basically different types of the clouds that we have on the market. So when you have it and owned by an organization, that is basically private cloud. You sell your data and give it out to another company, that is public. When you can use both, then that is hybrid cloud computing. And that's how it works.
So, we can take just one more question, please, because otherwise after that we will have enough time, we will go for a discussion. We should give enough time for the second presenter also. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary, for the presentation. I was just trying to look at the research gap, and of course, your concern is the aspect of the confidentiality and the trust among the consumers. I would probably be interested in looking at your literature if you have not seen it keenly. But let's take an example of a company like BlackBerry. Are we together? I know it is one of the companies that is quite known in terms of confidentiality and all that particular data. So I'm trying to give that particular perspective and not that probably you have to look at them and see, but what are they doing? Because out of that is when we are developing the gap for your research. Have you tried to look at anything on BlackBerry doing?
Now, BlackBerry, thanks for that particular question. BlackBerry is one of the companies that even USA is having problems trying to get through their servers. In fact, as political, it was even being shut off. Because if you're using any smartphone and using BlackBerry,